Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know, if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know, if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
Of losing the race, you still go for the
wanna know, really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know, really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
Good morning, everyone. I am Reverend Derek, and welcome to the Love is Greater Than Fear Spiritual Center. Happy Sunday. Glad to be back with you guys after a couple weeks off. Just love getting together to have a conversation with you about spirituality in a way that is practical and helpful for the lives that we are living. In today's talk, we're going to be talking about the meaning of miracles, and it's going to be a very powerful talk. So if you are somebody who needs a miracle, if you're someone who's experiencing a health challenge, a challenge in your relationships, maybe some trouble at work or with finances, whatever that trouble might be, A Course in Miracles tells us that miracles are natural. If they are not occurring, something has gone wrong. So I encourage you that if that is you today, if you're somebody who needs a miracle, please tune in for all of today's talk and our meditation, because today you're going to learn about what a miracle really means, and you're also going to learn how to practically apply the principles of A Course in Miracles, the principles of universal spiritual truth to whatever your situation is, to make that shift from fear to love and to create a miracle in your life. Now, before we get into the talk and meditation, I do want to start with telling you a little bit about the Love is Greater Than Fear Spiritual Center, just in case you are new. My name is Reverend Derek. This is a virtual spiritual center. We get together every Sunday at 10 a.m. to have a talk and meditation together. I'm a student of a book called A Course in Miracles. A Course in Miracles is based on universal spiritual principles. It doesn't matter what your faith is, what your religious background, or even if you don't have a religious background, it doesn't matter. This is all based on universal spiritual principles that you will find in all faiths and paths. Who is welcome. Our community is for all of God's children, regardless of your gender, your race, your sexual orientation, your nationality, your religious background, your political affiliation, or any other seeming difference. We believe that all of God's children deserve a life of peace, love, freedom, and creative expression. We believe in the dismantling of the thought system of fear that would hinder any person's purpose on earth. We believe in love and equality for all. On top of that, we reject the idea that there is only one path to God. We celebrate every life. We believe we are stronger together. We believe prayer and meditation can transform any life. And we believe that love is greater than fear. Join me this morning and saying our spiritual declaration together. I surrender this day to God, that he may lead me to deeper peace, greater love, and fuller life expression. I surrender all my fears and desires to him. I ask that he show me the path from fear to love. Amen. All right. And then just remember, guys, if you do need any extra spiritual guidance after the talk today, you can learn more on our website, loveisgreaterthanfear.org. So if you feel so comfortable, we're going to do our morning prayer. So if you feel comfortable closing your eyes. So, dear God, this morning we invite you into our minds and into our hearts. We sit down, any ego thinking, any frustrations, any thoughts about what we have to do today, to just bask in this conversation about spirituality and about miracles, dear God, that you will guide today's conversation and meditation. Whatever needs to be heard is heard. Whatever needs to be said is said. Whatever aha or miracle is needed for anybody watching live now or watching later, dear God, we ask that you bless them with a miracle. And for our spiritual and religious brothers and sisters not with us this morning, maybe worshiping at a church, in a temple, at a mosque, we bless them as well. We bless them along their spiritual journey. And we bless the entire world. Dear God, there's a lot of troubling things happening in the world right now. And we send our love. We share our faith with one another. That love will rule. And we are so grateful, dear God. We are so grateful this morning for this opportunity to have this conversation, to have this meditation, to deepen our understanding of universal laws, to learn how to apply them to our lives. And dear God, we are so grateful for this spiritual journey and remembering who we are as we walk together. And together we say, amen. Well, happy Labor Day weekend. I hope all of you are getting a 3-day weekend. I am. I'm super pumped about it. So we're talking about the meaning of miracles today. So we talk about miracles every Sunday, but I wanted to take some time this month and just focus more on miracles and have a deeper conversation about how we can take the principles of something like A Course in Miracles and apply it to our lives so that we can experience more. I'm going to read to you from chapter 1 of A Course in Miracles, the principles of miracles. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. One is not harder or bigger than another. They are all the same. All expressions of love are maximal. Miracles as such do not matter. The only thing that matters is their source, which is far beyond evaluation. Miracles occur naturally as expressions of love. The real miracle is the love that inspires them. In this sense, everything that comes from love is a miracle. All miracles mean life, and God is the giver of life. His voice will direct you very specifically. You will be told all you need to know. Miracles are natural. When they do not occur, something has gone wrong. Now, I invite you to take a moment and reflect on your life as it is today. Where are you not experiencing love? Is there a work situation? Is there a relationship challenge? Is there some self-esteem stuff going on? Does it have to do with your finances, with your career? Where are you not experiencing love? Another way of asking that is, where are you not at peace? Do you stress over money? Are you stressing over a health challenge? Are you stressing over loneliness or a complicated relationship with someone, whether it's a lover or a family member? Where are you not at peace? Now, today, as we talk about miracles, I want you to kind of just take whatever that area is and just like keep it in the back of your mind, because after the talk today, we're going to do a meditation to work on that. Now, let's define a miracle. Sometimes we think a miracle is going to be just getting whatever we want. I was recently talking to someone about miracles, and they said, Derek, well, the miracle here would be if X, Y, and Z happened. And that's our tendency. That's how we tend to think about miracles, is me getting what I want. That would be the miracle in any given situation, we seem to think. But the Course in Miracles goes on to define a miracle as a shift in perception from fear to love. So a miracle is an internal thing, first and foremost. They do have effects in the physical world, but it is, number one, it is an internal thing. Let's take some examples. Let's imagine that I grew up in a household where we had scarcity thinking about money. Maybe I was told money doesn't grow on trees, money's hard to come by, people like us don't have a lot of money, our family's been poor forever. Imagine you're someone who has thinking like that. And you go through your life and you're 20, 30 some years old, 40 some years old, and you have one financial crisis after another. Now we know how powerful our thinking is. If I think money is hard to come by, money is likely going to be hard to come by for many reasons. Number one, if I walk through life with that attitude, I'm not going to be open up to creative ideas about how to get more money. I'm going to be in job interviews and I'm going to blow it because I'm thinking, I have that thought going in my mind. I'm self-sabotaging my thought myself. So for a variety of reasons, if I have that kind of stuff going on in my mind, it's going to make it very hard for me to come by money if I keep thinking it's a difficult thing. It's as if I will be blind to all financial opportunities because of this type of thinking that you may have been given as a child, something you might not have even ever reconsidered. And so take in this case, this person that goes through life with this mental habit going on and on and on and on throughout their 20s, their 40s, and so on, right? And thinking that money is just a hard thing to come by. Somebody in this situation, and let's say they have a big medical bill that comes their way that they can't pay, or a mortgage bill or something like that, it would be easy to think that the miracle would be for the money to show up for the mortgage payment. It would be easy to think that the miracle would be for the money to show up for the medical bill, or for the medical bill to just disappear. But if this has been a habit of ours, a mental habit throughout most of our life, throughout all of our life perhaps, that's not really going to be the miracle, because you know what's going to happen? Tomorrow, let's say you do get the money for the medical bill, you do get the job, you do get whatever you need for that financial situation. That doesn't change your thinking. And the next day, you're going to be right where you were, still thinking with limited thoughts about money, still thinking with limitations, still with all that stuff going on in your head. The problem with this type of thinking is that fear is like gravity. We've got gravity that keeps us here on the earth, thankfully, but we've also got the gravity that is fear. And so if you have negative thinking like that, if you're thinking money's hard to come by and money doesn't grow on trees, whatever your thought about it is, there's probably going to be other people in your life. There's going to be circumstances. There's going to be conversations that gravity just pulls you down and keeps you there. And so it's very likely that even if you get the money to pay for that mortgage payment, or you get that job, or whatever the financial thing is you think you need, whatever you think the miracle would be, let's say you get that gravity is going to keep pulling on you. And within a couple days, couple weeks, couple months, you will find yourself there in the same exact situation, praying for another financial miracle. Now, I'm going to assume this isn't news to anybody watching. I'm going to guess that you've probably found yourself doing this before. There's probably some area, one or two areas in your life where you have these habitual thought patterns that just keep going and going, and you'll pray, oh dear God, give me X, Y, and Z, and then you get X, Y, and Z, but then it doesn't really change anything. So this is why a miracle is an internal thing, because if we can change the thought pattern that is contributing to and producing these results all around us, if we can change the thought pattern, if we can shift from fear to love, then we don't have to keep praying for these physical miracles. If we can just start right here. Prayer is the medium of miracles, A Course in Miracles tells us. Prayer is so powerful. And so it's really important that we start utilizing prayer to create these miracles all around us. Now, I used a financial situation right there, but your situation might be very different. Maybe you're great with money, but maybe you're very lonely, or maybe you tend to attract the same kind of man over and over. Maybe you're doing the same job over and over. I don't know what it is for you. It could be a health thing. It could be a self-esteem thing. Like whatever miracle it is you need, though, it's the same principles. And we want to stop praying for outside miracles and start praying for that internal miracle, because a miracle is the shift in perception from fear to love. So like in that example with money, if that person was to stop and say a prayer, something like, dear God, I realize that I have some shitty thinking about money. Maybe it goes back to my mom, maybe it goes back to my dad, maybe it's a cultural thing. I've got some shitty thinking about money, and I realize this doesn't help me. I realize that this is not how you would have me think about money. Dear God, please take these thoughts from me, replace them with your thoughts. We only have two choices in our life. We think we have this free will to do, be, say, whatever it is we want. That's the self-help mantra. You can be anything you want, do anything you want. The world is open to you. The thing is, you really only have two choices: to think, speak, and act with fear, or to think, speak, and act with love. That's it. In any given moment, if it's about money, if it's about health, if it's about relationships, it's about how you feel about yourself, at any given moment, your only choice is to think, speak, and act with love, or to think, speak, and act with fear. So that's it. So with this person with the money situation, they say a prayer like that, what's going to happen? So to the degree that they're open to the miracle, an internal miracle will take place. They will find, maybe something will come to mind. Oh, wow, I got that idea from my mom. Oh, wow, that's a cultural idea I have. Oh, wow, that's a limitation. An awareness begins to happen. And once you become aware of that, then your true, natural, correct thinking, the thinking of God, the thinking of your spirit, can start to just download into your system like a computer. And this is how you begin to make changes. Because now that we've changed our thought about money, and we start thinking, wow, abundance is everywhere. God would have me have the things I need. God knows what I need in my experience. God knows how much my rent is. God knows how much my medical bill is. God knows everything I need, and God will provide it. Now, that's not a shift in thinking you can make on your own. That's a shift in thinking that you need God and you need prayer to make that shift. And it doesn't have to be any specific God, if whatever the God of your faith, the God of your understanding, if it's Jesus, if it's Buddha, if it's Allah, if it's Muhammad, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But you need some inner teacher to help you make that shift in perception from fear to love. Now, let's talk about how we actually apply this, right? So you're sitting there right now. You probably have something on your mind and heart, some area where you would love a miracle. We want to start with the miracles. Actually, I'm going to back up a moment. So, sorry, I forgot to say something. In the situation with the person with money, when they get the miracle in their mind and they make that shift in perception from fear to love, most likely that is going to create miracles in the physical world as well, right? So if I change my thinking about money, then how I feel about money, how I talk about money, how I look for money, everything's going to change. And then as I go throughout my life, anything that would contribute to my spiritual growth, anything that would contribute to me having a deeper understanding of abundance in the world, anything that would supply a lack in my experience will automatically come rushing to me, because those things are at all time rushing to you. You are a magnet for good, because the fact is you are the miracle and you are a magnet for good. The thing that stops it is the fearful thinking. The fearful thinking is not just a gravity that holds us down, but it's often a wall that keeps good away from us. So I want to talk to you guys today about 5 steps that you can use in your thinking, in your prayer life, to help you manifest a miracle in your experience. So I kind of made these 5 steps up myself, just based off of my understanding of A Course in Miracles and my own experience with spirituality and prayers being answered. Now, before we take a look at these 5 steps, I do want to say that the best prayer is always just a heartfelt prayer. So steps are not always necessary. They're very helpful, but a deep and honest conversation with God is the best type of prayer. Now, here's the thing. Before we can even pray for a miracle, we need to have some kind of awareness. We need to recognize that something is in fact wrong. Now, here's the problem with positive thinking. Positive thinking, let's go back to this scenario with the person who is having money problems, right? We'll just use that example. So this person that's having money problems, if they're not aware that something is wrong here, they can't ask for a miracle, right? If they're not aware that they're making mistakes. Let's say that this person is, they gamble a lot, or they shop a lot, and they waste their money in a way that's detrimental to their financial health, okay? If they're not aware of what they're doing and how it's affecting their life, it's going to be really hard for them to make any changes. So our first step, and the reason I bring up positive thinking is because sometimes in positive thinking, it's, oh, I have a financial problem. Let me use a positive affirmation. I am a magnet for abundance. That doesn't really do anything. It pours pink paint over a beat up house, hoping that it's going to fix it, but it won't, because that thought pattern has to be undone. So the first step is becoming aware that something is wrong here. As the Course says, where was that line? Miracles occur naturally as expressions of love. When they do not occur, something has gone wrong, okay? So we want to start with that awareness, okay? And just call it what it is. Is it loneliness? Is it depression? Is it anxiety? Is it financial problems? Is it a career failure? Like, is it a health problem? Name very specifically what the problem is, right? So an example with the person with the financial problem, it might just simply be, wow, I am too broke to pay all my bills. And that is the fact. Now, keep in mind, there's going to be this part of us that want to say, but that's not being spiritual. There is spiritual, there is truth, and there are facts. Truth and facts are not the same thing. The spiritual truth might be you are a magnet for abundance, but the facts might be you don't have any money in your bank account and you can't pay your rent. I hope that makes sense. So we want to start there with an awareness. Now, from that awareness, we want to go to confession. So the Catholics are really good at this. They have their confessions. Jews have that once a year on Yom Kippur. I'm going to say it wrong. They celebrate for the whole year, confessing places where they've made mistakes. And this is a really important thing that we need to add to our daily life and to our prayer is step 2, confession. What is confession? Confession is deep truth-telling with yourself and God. It might be something like, hey, dear God, I blew it with money again. This is ruining my life. This is creating challenges for me. It's creating challenges for my family. It could be, dear God, I'm attracted the wrong kind of guy again. I went out on the date. I knew I shouldn't have went on the date. Dear God, I was hurtful to this person. Dear God, I was unkind to this person. Dear God, I've not taken good care of my body. Whatever is true for you, and step 2, you want to confess that to God. Not in the sense that you're confessing and there's something wrong with you, or that you should, there's healthy shame and there's healthy guilt. And in step 2 with the confession, we take that to God and we're just very, very honest. I was listening to Marianne Williamson, and she was talking about how when in the Bible, when Adam and Eve stands naked before God, it's not that they were physically naked. It's just they were spiritually, mentally, emotionally naked in the presence of God. And that's how God wants us to come to him in prayer. When we make those confessions, when we've made mistakes, when we've done something wrong, or we've hurt someone, whatever it might be, for whatever your situation is, that'll be upon you to sit in prayer, becoming aware, confessing where you've made those mistakes. And the third thing is asking for help. And that's just as simple as, dear God, help me. A Course in Miracles tells us that the greatest two words you could ever say to God is help me. This is the invitation. This is asking God. This is just like we do every morning when I say, dear God, I invite you into my mind. I invite you into my heart. We must invite God in. Now, I know you've heard me make this comparison before, but God is very similar in a way to vampire lore, right? So in vampire mythology, a vampire cannot enter your house without permission. They must be invited into your house, right? So that's like our protection from vampires and vampire stories like Buffy. And God is very similar in this sense, that God cannot enter our mind and our heart and our financial affairs, our health, cannot enter any of that without an invitation. You must daily ask God to come into your mind, come into your heart, come into your relationship with your spouse, come into your relationship with your boss, come into your relationship with yourself. Come in, enter, and help. Enter where he already abides. In the Quran, it says that Allah, is closer to us than our jugular. That's how close God is to us. But to take that next step to be even closer, there must be an invitation, because we do have free will. And our free will is choosing love or choosing fear. We can daily invite God into our mind and our hearts, or our other option, and our other option is to not do that and to wake up first thing in the morning and go on social media, read the news, get engaged in a conversation with someone, get into our fearful thinking. And when we do that, we have indeed invited the vampire/fear into our house, i.e. our consciousness. So that is our choice every moment. God or ego, love or fear, vampire, or I don't know what the opposite would be in vampire lore, but you guys get the point there. We want to ask God for help. Now, in step 4, this is where we give this over to God. You know, it's really popular, especially in like religious and spiritual circles, to say things like, well, it's in God's hands. Well, yes, ultimately everything is in God's hands, but have you actually consciously given it over to God? Those are two completely different things, right? So I can just say, you know, well, this is in God's hand, to kind of have like a passive approach to my financial problems, my health problems, my relationship challenges, whatever it might be, and just hope for the best. I can do that if I want to. Or I can say something like, dear God, like, I am giving this to you. This health situation is a nightmare. I don't know what to do. I don't know what decisions to make. I'm handing this over to you. Please make these decisions for me. God can only take what we will give him. If you are riddled with fear, anxiety, depression, illness, financial troubles, whatever it might be, you must take that and give it to God, because you made that mess to a degree. And so you really can't do anything about it from the place you're at, from the mind that actually created that and or contributed to it. So we got to take this, give it over to God, which is a huge relief off your shoulders, right? Give this over to God, let him take it from there. Now, what is that 5th step? Now, this 5th step is probably the most unpopular step. The 5th step is readiness. Readiness. That means that after you've said that prayer, you spend some time in silence. You're conscious of not getting pulled back into the gravity of ego. You go for a walk. You have a nice cup of green tea, whatever it might be. And in that stillness and in that silence during this readiness time is when answers are going to start to come through. Now, the voice of God is always speaking to you and through you, and the voice of fear is always speaking to you and through you. In this readiness period, we are tuning into the voice of God so we can hear the answer. And the answer might be, this is our new way we're going to think, and a new thought might come to you. The answer might be that there's a certain therapist that would really help you with that relationship challenge that comes to mind. The answer might be a phone call you get from someone you haven't talked to in a while who somehow can help. You might be at a bookstore and a book might fall at your feet, and that book was what you needed to read about self-esteem. It could be anything. Instantly in that moment, the entire universe who loves you and who has created you as perfection and cares for you is just rushing everything to you. I'm a big fan of the 90s TV show Xena Warrior Princess. I hope you are too. I love that show so much. What's really interesting about Xena is that whenever one of her friends would get poisoned, like someone would shoot them with an arrow and the arrow would have this very toxic poison in it that would start killing the person, which happened all the time in Xena. It was really interesting. Xena would bandage the person up, put them under a tree, hop on her horse, be back before the end of the episode with the antidote. Always. She always had an antidote. And I always just thought, that's Xena for you. That's just, she's a superhero. She can just make stuff like that happen. I later read that wherever there is something poisonous in nature, within a mile radius, there is an antidote. Within a mile radius. So if you come across a toxic frog, a toxic type of plant, something like that, there is within a mile radius an antidote for that poison. That's how intelligent the universe is. Or if you're Mary Ellen and Mary Ellen, you're watching, that's how smart God is that antidotes, solutions are everywhere. So if you are having a money problem, there is an antidote right here, right now. If you are having a relationship problem, if you are having a work problem, if you can't find work problem, if it's a medical bill, whatever it is, the solution is in your immediate vicinity. It is within a mile radius, metaphorically. This is very similar to in the story of Cinderella. So in Cinderella, she is praying to go to the big ball to go meet the prince, escape her stepmother and her wicked stepsisters, right? She wants to escape that. She says a prayer. The fairy godmother shows up. Cinderella says, "Oh, I thought you would never come." The fairy godmother says, "Oh, if that were true, I could not have come." Again, the invitation of the Holy Spirit of God into the mind and heart, represented by fairy godmother and fables and stories. She shows up and she sees the dress the mice have made for Cinderella and the tattered dress and the poor situation that Cinderella is in. And what does the fairy godmother do? Does she call a limo? Do they go to Saks Fifth Avenue and go start shopping, to go buy a dress, get a vehicle to go? Does she take her to go get her makeup done at a beauty parlor? Like, no, none of that is what happens. She takes what is already there in Cinderella's situation. She transforms the pumpkin into the carriage, the mice into coachmen, the tattered dress into a beautiful ball gown. She does this all with her magical wand, which just represents focused consciousness. So this is your prayer. Basically, with her prayer, with her clarity and understanding of truth, of love, of peace, of joy, of perfection, of abundance, she blesses Cinderella's situation. No outside thing was needed. Right there, everything that was needed was already there, and it began to transform. So this is also true of you and your life. Wherever you are, wherever you're sitting right now or standing, whatever job you have, whatever health issue you have, whatever amount of money is in your bank account, whatever people you know, this is the perfect situation to transform. And through your prayer, through becoming aware, through confessing, for asking for help, and ultimately giving this over to God and just staying ready. I call it like being alert for like miracle impulses, because the impulse will just come through your body and you'll feel, oh, I'm supposed to go there. I'm supposed to go there. I'm supposed to talk to this person. I'm supposed to say this thing. The creative ideas, everything comes through. Your life begins to change. You begin to transform. And anything that is not serving the highest, fullest expression of you will disappear from your existence. The illness will go away. The debt will go away. Any loneliness, any anxiety, it will go away as you step more fully into the truth of who you are and beginning to experience miracles all around you, keeping in mind that you are the miracle. And what we're going to do now is we are going to go into a meditation. So I invite you, if you feel comfortable, we're going to take all these thoughts, all this, whatever that thing is going on in your mind, that wherever you need a miracle, wherever you're not at peace, we're going to take that into this meditation, and we're going to go through those 5 steps of becoming aware, handing this over to God. And at the end of the meditation, you're going to be feeling a little bit different, a lot different, depending on how open you are to this. And then I just want you to stay on alert after that for the miracle. So let's go ahead and get comfortable in our seats. If you are driving, please don't do this meditation. And begin to just turn within. And let us take 3 deep breaths, in through our nose, out through our mouth. And after we've taken those deep breaths, just let our breathing return to normal. And I invite you to imagine that angels stand all around you. To your left side, there are angels. To your right side, there are angels. In front of you, there are angels. Behind you, there are angels. Below you and above you. And I invite you to imagine one of these angels is holding a pitcher of a golden elixir. And they take this elixir and they pour this over the top of your head. It's a golden light. It's a loving energy washing over your head, down your face, relaxing your shoulders. And everywhere this golden light touches, you just relax and relax more deeply. Over your chest, down through your arms, down through your stomach, you're becoming very, very relaxed as the elixir just softens any tension through your thighs, your knees, all the way out through your arms, your legs, your fingers and toes. And we're feeling very relaxed, very calm, very quiet and at peace. We're going to sit here in the silence for just one moment. And now I invite you to call to mind this place where you're not at peace. Simply call it to mind, give it a name. And then I ask you to take a moment and confess to God how you feel about this situation. Just how you honestly, truly feel. And now, having confessed, in your own words, ask God for help. And again, in your own words, let God know you are giving this situation, your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions, all over to Him. I find it helps to visualize myself holding my hands out with whatever the challenge is, holding the problem in my hands as I reach up, extend the problem to God, and God reaches down and takes that problem, that challenge, that place where you're not at peace from you. It helps to say, "Dear God, I would not keep this. I give it to you." And then we're just going to sit in silence for just a moment. And dear God, we are so grateful this morning, so grateful for this opportunity to join together to deepen our understanding of life, to focus on our personal and collective awakening. And dear God, I bless everyone who is tuned in this morning, that whatever miracle is needed for them, that it comes, that it arrives very quickly. Whatever shift in thinking, whatever changes in the physical world, dear God, I ask that it is swift, that it is fast, that anything that is needed to supply a lack in anyone's life, that is supplied. And I ask, dear God, to help us all remember more and more every day who we are and why we're here, and the miracle that is each of us. And together we say, Amen. And as you feel comfortable, just begin bringing your attention back to the room, back to your seat, opening your eyes as you feel comfortable. That felt really good. So I hope you guys felt that. Please let me know what miracles you experienced this next week. We currently have a Course in Miracles study group that we're doing every Tuesday night at 6. My favorite thing about this group has been we do this thing every group where we share miracles that are happening, whatever miracle we might have had that past week. And every morning, as I'm preparing for the group, I start wondering, okay, well, what miracles did I have this week? And sometimes I'll be like, oh, I didn't have a miracle. And then if I think about it enough, I'll find some areas where I definitely had a shift in perception from fear to love, and had some type of tangible miracle happen all around me as well. So it's, reporting back these miracles not only helps with my faith, but it also will help with your own faith. Before we go, just a couple quick announcements. If you do need a little extra spiritual guidance this week, just a reminder that we have our prayer assistance on the website, loveisgreaterthanfear.org. You can submit a prayer request there. We'll pray for you every day for 30 days. Now, we've got a variety of things over on the website, guys. Over on loveisgreaterthanfear.org, we've got spiritual classes, we've got spiritual counseling. I just added some new information about miracle mindset coaching. So if you feel like you could use some coaching on any area of life, definitely read some information there. We've also got our A Course in Miracles weekly study group. This is a free group, guys. It's ongoing. You can come and go as you want. It's just a lighthearted but deep conversation about A Course in Miracles. If you want to join that, just go to the study group tab on the website and let me know that you want to be added to that list. You can also find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Guys, remember, it's social media. We need your likes. We need your comments. We need your shares. And on top of that, there's probably somebody on your timeline this morning having a money crisis, having a relationship crisis, who's going to be open to a conversation like this. And this could really, really help them. So be sure to share this on your social media. And then we're going to do our spiritual declaration together. Say it with me, guys. I surrender this day to God, that he may lead me to deeper peace, greater love, and fuller life expression. I surrender all my fears and desires to him. I ask that he show me the path from fear to love. Amen. Now, 2 quick things before we go. We'll be back next Sunday at 10 a.m. to talk about miracles and purpose. And then guys, this entire spiritual center relies on your generous donations, which you guys are always amazing about. If you do feel served by this, if you're walking away from this talk today and you feel that this served you, and you've got tools and you've got practices and you've got principles that you can apply to your life, and you want to make a donation to Love is Greater Than Fear, just go to PayPal and you can do @LoveIsGreaterCenter. So it's on PayPal @LoveIsGreaterCenter. You can make a one-time donation on there. You can also set up monthly donations to our center. Now, these donations are really helpful, guys. It pays for things like hosting the website, the streaming services. It helps supply free classes for people who can't afford them, free counseling for people who can't afford it. And then also, I might be saying this too soon, but I am currently working on an in-person Christmas service coming up in December. So your donations also help with renting spaces and the things that we're going to need to be able to do that. So again, if you do feel so called, you can make a donation on PayPal @LoveIsGreaterCenter is the handle. If you need to make a donation a different way, just DM me, email me, just get in touch with me, and we have other ways if you want to make a donation. You guys have been awesome. I hope this was a powerful and practical talk and meditation for you guys this morning. I hope you have an amazing Labor Day weekend, and we will talk again soon. Bye, everybody.